You know, when you hear the word prenup, your mind probably jumps straight to endings. But what if a prenup is actually the secret to a really great beginning? Today, we're diving into a guide for filmmakers and funders that's all about how to build creative partnerships that actually go the distance. And the stakes have never been higher. I mean, this is a total two-way street. Filmmakers, you need the resources to tell those powerful stories. And funders, you need those stories to put a real human face on the issues you're trying to solve. It's a relationship of pure mutual necessity. Ah, that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can turn a potential partnership into a collaboration that's not just successful, but truly impactful. Okay, so let's set the scene. In today's world, it's not just the classic arts foundations that are funding films anymore. We're talking about funders from health, education, human rights. They're all waking up to the power of media. They've got the resources, and filmmakers have the stories.
But let's be real here. We have to be honest about the power dynamics. One filmmaker in the guide puts it pretty bluntly. They say filmmakers can sometimes feel like a dime a dozen. And you know what? Acknowledging that imbalance right from the start is the absolute first step toward building a relationship based on transparency and respect.
So you're at the table, you're talking to a potential partner. How do you know if you're even a good fit? Well, the guide suggests thinking about it a lot like dating. So let's look at a couple of archetypes to help you find your perfect match. First up, we've got a classic pairing. On one side, you have the visionary filmmaker. They're all about creative expression, their personal artistic freedom. And on the other, you've got the media as art funder, who really acts like a patron. They believe in the artist's vision and they are totally hands-off. It's a perfect match, built on trust. But then, on the flip side, you have a completely different dynamic. Here you have the entrepreneurial filmmaker, who is basically a filmmaker for hire. They're providing a top-notch professional service. And their perfect match? The commissioning funder. This funder sees the film as a very specific tool in their communications toolbox. And in this relationship, it's much more transactional, and usually the funder is the one in control. So you see the point here, right? It all comes down to self-awareness. Are you the visionary who needs a patron, or are you the entrepreneur looking for a client? Figuring out where you fit helps you find a partner whose expectations actually line up with yours. It's all about avoiding that fundamental mismatch right from the get-go. Okay, so you think you've found a potential match? Now it's time for the first date. And this is where you stop talking in archetypes and start getting into the nitty-gritty, asking those tough questions that are really going to define your partnership. And this checklist is just brilliant. You've got to get on the same page about your goals. Is this about art, or is it about social impact, or both? Who are we even trying to reach? And then there's the polygamy issue, which is such a great way to put it. Most filmmakers have multiple funders, so you have to be crystal clear about how all those different relationships are going to be managed. But, you know, beyond all the checklists and the strategy docs, so often it just comes down to chemistry. Do you actually trust each other? Is there a good vibe? As one investor said, if you don't trust a filmmaker to make a great film, you probably shouldn't be working with that person anyway. It's as simple as that. All right, you've found your match, the chemistry's there, things are looking good. Now it's time to actually write the prenup. The guide breaks this down into 3 really essential pillars that are going to form the foundation of your entire agreement. These are the big 3. Number 1, visions and expectations. Are you on the same page? We kind of covered that on the first date. Number 2, roles and participation. Basically, who does what. And number 3, the real nuts and bolts, the business and legal stuff.
Now, you might think money and legal details would cause the most friction, right? But what the guide suggests is that the biggest, most heated arguments often come from simple misunderstandings about roles, specifically who has the final say. And that brings us to maybe the most critical term in this entire conversation: editorial control. It's really simple. It's the power to decide what actually ends up in the final cut of the film. And believe me, this can be a massive point of conflict if it is not clearly defined from day one. But here's the thing. Editorial control isn't always a black and white, all or nothing issue. This quote shows a great middle ground. It's not about a funder dictating every single frame. It's about having meaningful consultation. They get to see early cuts, they get to give their input, but they still trust the filmmaker's expertise. It's a collaboration, not a dictatorship. So as we start to wrap this up, it's really important we reframe this whole idea. The word prenup can sound so negative, right? Like you're already planning for the divorce. but the guide argues it's actually the exact opposite.
So remember this. These tough, upfront conversations, they're all about building a rock-solid foundation. When you clarify expectations and roles and boundaries before any problems pop up, you're creating the kind of trust that allows a partnership to not just survive, but to actually thrive. And let's not forget the ultimate goal of all of this. This CHECK list is a great reminder of why these partnerships matter in the first place. It's to create powerful films that give us a common experience, put a human face on huge issues, build empathy, show change, and get people engaged.
And this, right here, is the ultimate payoff. When a filmmaker's artistic vision and a funder's social mission are perfectly aligned through one of these well-crafted partnerships, what you get is so much more than just a movie. It becomes a real tool for change that can inspire audiences to take real-world action.
So, I'll just leave you with this one question. Whether you're a filmmaker with an incredible story to tell or a funder with a world-changing mission, before you tie that knot, have you discussed your prenup? Because a strong beginning is truly the best way to guarantee a powerful ending.